Okay, class. Once again, we have as a guest today Dr. Ernie Rosado is the Gulf Shores High School principal, and you have had a chance to hear what he has to say earlier. But today I'm going to ask him to talk a little bit about how he goes about deciding who gets hired at the high school. And I hope that you will listen carefully to what he has to say because it's really important if you want to get a job in this new world in which we're living. So, Dr. Rosado, we are back in your office again, and I really do
Right.
appreciate you spending so much time with us. And we're
Oh,
gonna
no
we're gonna
problem.
throw a big one at you, okay? On what it is that it takes to get hired these days
All
as a
right.
teacher.
We'll discuss that, and it's changed. It's different from 3 years ago, 5 years ago. It's a whole different process of who are the candidates and what can they bring. The teacher, what can that teacher bring to the table to work with our vision at Baldwin County and Gulf Shores High School?
Let me ask you a couple more questions. You're a
Uh huh.
principal. You're a principal. You hire you hire new teachers probably every year, don't you? I would think a school your size.
Going through that right now. Yes.
Yep. So what I've got 100, 200 students every year. They hope to be teachers. What are you looking for in a teacher? What is it? And has that changed in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years since you've gotten into this new way of teaching and the
Yeah,
technology of it?
it's changed because right now I need a teacher coming out of the university that first of all has is work technology, understands technology, is a team player, and is not a lecturer.
Right.
I do not need somebody coming in here to lecture, just to lecture the da 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 da. I call the mundane da 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 da. I need somebody coming in here looking at different ways to work the issues and teach these students a different way. So my hiring, the way I look at hiring, when I'll give you a quick example. I get a candidate here. I ask them, well, how are you going to teach? Well, I got my course, my lesson plan, and I'll teach this and everything. I said, well, what else are you going to do? Well, I got my lesson plan, and I'm going to cover the subject. So what else are you going to do? And it doesn't have to be just technology, John. It
Right.
has to be, how are we going to deliver the material in a different way to reach our students today?
Right. You got to keep them interested, or you won't be able to teach them at
That's
all.
right.
And you got to
That's right.
use the tools that they're going to be able to use. And
That's it.
you got to get them involved in real world projects, like you were talking about. I mean,
That's right.
solve that traffic problem out front. I mean, that's what
That's
a
right.
great problem to
That's
deal
right.
with.
And
And so the teachers have to come prepared to do that and to participate in. Well, you didn't call it project based or challenge based. You had a new word. What was that?
I'm calling it inquiry based. It's
Inquiry based.
all inquiry based. Here's what I've done, John. I spent last semester about 4 months visiting the fourth grade teachers at the elementary school. They meet on Tuesdays, and elementary teachers are good at project based.
Right.
They got a good handle. I'm not saying high school teachers don't have that, but they understand how to work the projects. They understand how to work as a team and everything. Because at the high school level, sometimes we get too departmentalized,
Right.
and you got the English department, social studies department, you got science, and I'm trying to them to understand instead of working a project in a book, get outside your four walls and look at a project that you can solve for the city or a community or the PTSO or anybody.
Right.
Right now, John, we just it just happened last week. My engineering academy students, they are building just down the road here, right past the elementary school. They are building a Boy Scout building, I think it is. And we are partnering with them, our engineering students, with the
Wow.
architect that and we're going to try to take that whole building through the whole process with
Oh,
our engineering
wow.
students.
That
And
sounds really exciting.
that's
And
real
so here
work.
I am getting excited about that, and that's what you're trying to do with your students. You're trying to get them excited about it,
That's
right?
That's all I'm trying to
Right.
do. You know, trying to get them excited. I have my marine science class right now. This semester, they met a few times last semester, but we're hoping this first semester they're working with Walters Marine down on Canal Road, and they're going to build a reef, a small Gulf Shores High School reef, and they're gonna sink it. I don't know. We're looking at the coordinates where to sink it, and then they're gonna monitor it of this. So our marine science kids this last semester built a tank. They got a huge tank, and they were using salt water. Everything they had, all the
Wow.
marine specimens in the Gulf, they were watching it and observing it and taking care of it, because when they go in the real world this next fall, they want to understand salt water, the reefs, the fish, and they were talking about. So it's going to be a little exciting in the marine
Little
science
exciting. It's going to be a
class.
lot exciting. So
Yeah.
let me just sum up here what you've said. You said if so, class, listen, because here is a principal who actually determines whether you get a job or not. All right. So he
Mhm.
says, if I'm just correct me if I'm wrong about this, that you have to be able to use technology and willing to do it. You have to give up your lecture habits and you have to get yourself involved in real world projects that are learning projects for the students and projects where you'll learn as well. Teachers got to be learners. So you don't know it all. You're going to learn, and you got to learn from your students as well
Right.
as they're going to learn from you. You've got
Amen.
to participate in a team. It's not an individual process. You're not going to lock yourself in your room and do it all yourself. It's got to be a team type of activity, and it's going to be very different than the way you were taught. Am I right about that, Ernie?
That's 100% correct.
So,
That's our world today, and it's actually happening right now.
right. And so, if you want a job, you're going to have to think differently than
Mhm.
what you probably were thinking when you said, I want to be a teacher. Now, let me ask you this. Does that apply to people who want to be coaches as well, or teach PE, or teach, I've got a lot of hopeful coaches, hopeful PE type instructors, and
Right.
they're not so sure about technology.
I'm telling you, here's what I tell my athletic director. They better be a teacher first, and then they can coach. And then as a teacher, the same expectations as all the other teachers. I don't treat anybody differently in any academic area just because they teach PE or they teach math. I am expecting the same things from PE. And I have some great PE teachers. I have two right now. They do Moodle, they do all kinds of Skyping, they do all kinds of different things in the PE classes that a regular class would do. So it's the same thing. The expectations at Gulf Shores High School is you're a teacher first and then a coach.
Right. But still, you say go Dolphins, right?
Go Dolphins all the time. Yeah, that's right. I want to win. Hey, I'm an all Air Force guy. I want to win every time. That's it.
So if you call him up, either on his cell phone or the office, and
Yeah,
he's not, you have to leave a message for him. Both places. How
that's
does he
right.
end it? Go Dolphins, right,
Go
Ernie?
Dolphins. That's right. Yes.
I think
You got
that's
to
really
support
great.
them. Yeah.
All right, so students, if you want to go Dolphins, you better listen up on how to get a job.